Home to The Rachel Maddow Show, Morning Joe, The Briefing with Jen Psaki, and more voices you know and trust. MS Now is your source for news, opinion, and the world. Our name is new, but you'll find the same commitment to justice, progress, and the truth that you've relied on for decades. We'll continue to cover the day's news, ask the tough questions, and explain how it impacts you. MS Now. Same mission, new name. Learn more at ms.now.
So good, so good, so good.
New markdowns are on at your Nordstrom Rack store. Save even more, up to 70% on dresses, tops, boots, and handbags to give and get.
Because I always find something amazing.
Just so many good brands.
I get an extra 5% off with my Nordstrom credit card. Total queen treatment.
Join the Nordy Club at Nordstrom Rack to unlock our best deals. Big gifts, big perks. That's why you rack.
The show that makes you laugh, think, and occasionally uncomfortable. The Last Show with David Cooper.
For 6 months, my friend, TV host Noah Cappe on Noah vs. the Unknown has been trying to convince me, the skeptic, that we are not alone. Do you believe in aliens, listener? And if so, do you believe they have visited us? Well, today we've got an incident in Brazil that Noah thinks is definitive proof. He thinks he's going to convince me, and I remain skeptical but open-minded. Noah, welcome to the show.
Oh my goodness, it feels like Christmas morning, David. I woke up today and I was like, why do I feel so excited? And I thought, oh, it's because I'm about to change somebody's life.
Okay, all right. You've said that before, but let's try it again.
I feel like we have been, over the weeks, chipping away, building a base of information that is slowly opening your mind and eyes to the possibility, nay, to the confirmability that we're not alone. And the Varginha incident got it all. It's got witnesses, it's got evidence, it's got material items, it's got it all. And we need some time for this one. Where do we begin? The beginning?
Let's start at the beginning in Varginha, Brazil, where there were UFO sightings.
January 13th, 1996. This is a week before most people know about the incident. January 20th is the big date for this incident. But a key part of this story actually begins on January 13th. When Carlos de Souza is driving home from work and sees a classic, one of the very classic UFO-shaped craft in the air. It's a cigar-shaped craft. And he sees it and he says it looks like it's damaged, like the back's been blown out or something. It's flying low. It does a 360 and it crashes in this kind of hilly range. He drives up to it and pulls up to a crashed UFO site. There is a 40-meter burn circle. There is debris. There is metal that he interacts with that is the exact same description as the metal that was found in the Roswell incident, which is metal that when you touch it, it's almost like aluminum foil. You can crumple it, you can move it, but when you let go of it, it like springs back in to its full original shape and strength. Okay? This guy interacts with that. All of this happens, and then the army shows up, and at gunpoint, this guy is aggressively taken out of there. He's then visited later by the army, and they basically say to him, this is your wife's name, this is your address, all of the stuff. You keep your mouth shut and don't talk about this. 7 days later, this thing blows wide open. What we don't know at the time is that whatever biologics, whatever entities, whatever beings were on this craft survived, and they are now out there in Brazil. 6 days later, a jogger sees army officials grabbing, he doesn't know what it is, an animal, a weird creature, whatever, and putting it in like a bag. And the bag's moving. Like this guy witnesses this weird moment. The same day, there are two other key sightings. one at a zoo where a janitor sees another creature type animal object. And then, of course, the most famous of all of the witness accounts and of this story, the three girls, ages 14, 16, and 22, who are walking home through an abandoned lot and literally lock eyes with an alien,
A beast,
with
a creature.
this creature. It is crouched over and huddled up against the wall. It's brown in color. It's got oily skin. It's got 3 dots, kind of lumps on either side of its head. It's got large oval-shaped red eyes. And these 3 girls this isn't like something in the distance running by. They lock eyes. They exchange moments. There is like a full encounter. And they have this, and this is key, this unbelievable smell of ammonia. There's like a sulfur smell that is so potent. And in fact, for days, these girls can't get it out of their nose. The guy who goes up to the crash site, one of the key things he talks about, ammonia smell, this sulfur smell that's so potent. The girls run home. They tell their mom. She doesn't believe them. They say, we saw the devil. They don't believe her, all whatever. They go back to the site. The mother sees V-shaped footprints in the mud, and local stray dogs are going bananas. They're smelling and barking and going nuts on this area. These 3 sightings lead to what unfolds over the next day and a bit of a town that is just descended on by the military. And what unfolds from there is just unbelievable. And we're going to get into all of it. But right out of the gate, you've got a sighting. You've got a similar account of materials, craft. I mean, all of it from this guy who sees this crash. And again, Carlos D'Souza, this guy, this random dude out in the middle of southeastern Brazil in a small town of 10,000 people is what? In 1996 is trying to go viral before the internet is really even like whatever. What's this guy? What's the big secret scam this guy's pulling?
Well, to answer the question quickly, I don't always think that people and their claims, I think they're sincerely held beliefs. I just don't necessarily agree with what they saw. There is a thing called psychogenic illness. There is a thing called hallucination. There is like, if 2 people can't even get a story straight on what happened, like a crime on the subway in New York, even though that's the same occurrence that they witnessed, I'm just saying you can have an account where someone believes what they're saying, but it may not be an accurate description of the truth. I'm not attacking your claims yet. I'm just saying you ask the question, what would his motivation be to lie? He may not be lying.
Power in numbers for me. It's like you've got 3 separate people in 3 locations, one at 3:30, one at 2 o'clock, one at 9:30 in the morning, all seeing the same and describing the same creature, the same kind of like weird thing. I mean, the jogger sees these army guys with like a pole and a rope trying to like get this thing off the side of a cliff. Like it's a bumbling, weird situation. It's not a black van pulls up and they grab a gray and they throw it in the back or whatever. I mean, in a weird way, the silliness of some of the accounts make it feel even more real. Nonetheless, these girls get visited by the government. They're told to quiet up. They're offered money, all of it. They turn it down. They don't know whatever. They want to just speak the truth. Here we go. This is where now things start to get really creepy. The alien that is grabbed by the army is put into this truck, and there is a military officer, and the pronunciation I'm not sure, but his first name's Marco, and he is witnessed grabbing the alien with his bare hands and putting it into this thing. Now, if you remember, I mentioned that there was a zoo sighting. There was this army guy who grabs this thing bare hands. And then they take this thing to a hospital, which I'm about to tell you about. 3 animals at the zoo die. The army guy who drove the alien dies. The guy who grabbed the alien bare hands dies. And the doctor who examines the alien, which we're going to get into, dies. All from a weird virus, all from this weird condition. Their skin and their body reacts, and they all die.
How do we know the veracity of all of these claims? Like, I assume some of them are true. The 3 girls were interviewed, but like all these deaths, like how do we know those were fiction or truth?
The deepest we can dig, the most we can find out. You try to find out records, family thing, whatever. The tough part is you're dealing with military police. You're dealing with people that it's easy to say, well, it was a training exercise gone wrong. It was
Toast the holidays in a new way and raise a glass of rum chata. A delicious creamy blend of horchata with rum. Enjoy it over ice or in your coffee. Rum chata, your holiday cocktails just got sweeter. Tap or click the banner for more. Drink responsibly. Caribbean rum with real dairy cream, natural and artificial flavors. Alcohol 13.75% by volume, 27.5 proof. Copyright 2025 Agave Logo Brands, Pewaukee, Wisconsin. All rights reserved.
We're here with Noah Cappe. It is Noah versus the unknown, or Noah versus David, if you want to frame it more adversarially. We are going over an alien incident that allegedly occurred in Brazil called the Varginha incident in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about an alien autopsy done by a doctor in Brazil based on a corpse that was recovered from an alleged UFO crash. Noah, you can keep going before you want to get my opinion. I don't know that you're going to be excited at the end when I say I'm convinced. I don't know that that's going to happen, but please keep going.
Well,
I'm listening.
Listen, we're going to continue to build this story. We're going to continue to build our database of witnesses.
You're always going to be Mulder. I'm always going to be Scully, no matter what.
Mulder had like a horrible sex addiction. Or was that was David Duchovny?
That was a different show. Different show.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of crazy sex addictions, these aliens, let me tell you. All right. So we've got multiple witnesses. We've got a crash. We've got government. We've got army descending on a small town. We've got broken telephone stories. We've now got a truck that pulls up to a hospital, and these army officials bring the canvas bag into an examination room. A doctor in there is then told to run tests, run x-rays, whatever, of this creature. All of the images are taken, this is one of those, where are the photos? Where's the whatever? We don't have that. Obviously all taken by the government. But what we do have is a doctor who has gone on record and has again recently gone on record, confirming his accounts, confirming the story, confirming his experiences. And again, additional people from the hospital confirming this smell, this unbelievably potent sulfur, ammonia, just this, they can't clean it. They're trying to scrub this room down. It's days. They can't clean it. The three girls, their nose is burning with this smell for days. It's a really weird component to this story. So you've now got this examination. They're at a hospital. They scoop this thing up, take it away. And this is where now it gets even a little shadier, a little weirder and harder to prove, because now you're government on government.
Wait, you were coming here saying this is the best evidence you got, and now you're conceding that it's shady, weird, hard to prove?
Well, what happens next is a U.S. plane through flight logs that are way later down the road, dug into, found, not through proper channels, an American I don't even know like a full-blown military plane from the U.S.
Like a transport plane, not like a fighter jet.
Airport. Officials get on a helicopter. They visit a few key sites. There's witnesses of cargo thing, whatever, loaded on a plane and up and into the air and gone. No official flight log, no proper documentation of this happening until people dig in later and find whatever. But so again, all of these things can be a coincidence. The military can say, look, we were doing a training exercise. When someone dug into it, the training exercise was scheduled for the next day at a different venue.
But that's what I'm going to say to you. How do you even respond to that? Can't you just accept that it might have just been a military training exercise, that the alien sighting might have been this mentally unstable guy in a village with people they don't have tons of education and access to TV. A mentally unstable guy in rags can seem like a beast. Once the hype and people getting swept up in the story and believing that it's true starts to hit the small town. Other people believe it. And so the things that they see ended up being like confirmation of this thing. It's called mass psychogenic illness. It's basically people start believing things that aren't true because their peers are. Why can't you just accept that as a plausible explanation?
I guess I can, David, but the problem I find is that it feels like it always comes back to, you saw a homeless guy and it was raining and that's why he looked oily. Oh, in the hospital, the people who thought they saw a weird little creature, it was patients with dwarfism who were there. I mean, the stories are just like, really? Is this so? In a 24-hour period, a bunch of dwarves were running around the hospital. There was a wacky homeless guy that got sighted by 3 girls who all drew the same looking alien. You've got deaths connected to weird sightings. You've got accounts from people who have got legitimate training and backgrounds, like a doctor, to military, to
people
families.
Die. If there's a military exercise with tens of thousands of soldiers, people sometimes die and they need autopsies.
100%. But do they die from an odd disease or a condition that nobody really knows 100% what it was, where their body starts to react in this odd way, and that 3 or 4 people who you can make a one dot connection to this incident all have the same viral condition? I mean, there's just like so many elements of this story that seem weird.
People win the lottery all the time, even though there's a 1 in a billion chance. I'm saying if there's a chance that there's a plausible explanation, to me, I understand and I've seen plausible explanations exist. I've never seen aliens exist. So your burden of proof is just too high. You know?
Yeah, but to say somebody wins the lottery all the time is what you really need to say is that there's people who live in a building and only people in that building win the lottery all the time. Those are the percentages that make more sense. To say every alien story falls into it can be explained because anybody can buy it, you know what I mean? You're taking a specific group of evidence.
I am. But I'm saying that's my bar. That's the bar you got to pass in order to convince me as a skeptic. I think it's more a problem of like, if there is a plausible explanation, however unlikely, I will just defer to it. I'm not saying it wasn't aliens. I'm just saying it's not enough for me to believe.
Yeah, I know. Just record yourself saying that, David, and have a button that every week you push. It's like, here's 4 witnesses, here's material objects, here's dead bodies, here's people lying. I mean, all of this. You use the debunking evidence, but let me debunk the debunk.
Sure.
The storm that made this random homeless guy that everybody for some reason thought was an alien, that didn't happen till later in the day. The timeline there doesn't add up. The military training wasn't scheduled that day. There's nothing on paper. It's all scheduled for a different day. They weren't moving bodies. They were moving medical equipment. We weren't at the hospital for whatever. It was dwarves. All of these explanations have equally wacky, counter explanations.
Sure.
What I was going to say is this. If you don't believe me, if I didn't do my job today to convince you that something happened in 1996 in southeastern Brazil, then watch a movie called The Moment of Contact. This is a legitimate doc. It is in the top 3 best alien documentaries I've ever seen. It is a dive deeper than I could ever do, and it will give you such an unbelievable glimpse. Plus, the visuals of this creature, of what people described that they saw, is so interesting and so unique. It kind of breaks the traditional gray alien that we're used to, but there's similar components to it. Moment of Contact, check it out. Very cool doc.
I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm not saying we're alone. I'm just saying I remain open to it. The evidence is not convincing enough, but it seems like evidence. For me, the bar remains extremely high, and I'm open to it. I remain open to it. And I'm really glad you shared the story. I'm glad I listened. It seems like a mysterious happenstance. I would defer to a plausible explanation. Having said that, I'm open to this as evidence. I want more. I'll keep listening. Keep coming back.
Have a great week. I'll see you on Planet Zyro.
All right, Noah Cap. It's Noah versus the unknown. Noah, it's always a pleasure talking to you, buddy.
Later, buddy.
Doug. Here we have the Lemur Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Lemur? Is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.